Business A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Madam Chair, this morning we have 2 voucher reports. The first dated December 30th, 2016. Total amount of vouchers, $691,112.95. The main items on that voucher report included the sales tax to JADO of $614,000. The other voucher report is dated January 4th, 2017. Total amount of those vouchers, $486,009.81. Significant item, Special Public Works project of $182,000. I've reviewed both voucher reports, have no questions, and move to approve.
Thank you. There's a motion by Commissioner Archer.
Second.
Are there any questions? Second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
A2, consider correction orders.
And I will move approval of the correction orders.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item B, Public Works, number 1, consider approval of a project budget in the amount of $210,000 and request to solicit an RFP to design and construction, for design and construction for replacement of a county culvert on Southeast California Avenue over an unnamed tributary to Wakarusa, located 0.20 miles south of Southeast 85th Street, to be paid from the Public Works Special Bridge account.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Blanc, Public Works and Solid Waste. I don't know if this is something you would want to consider doing, but all these items here are basically the same. They're requesting setting up a project budget and issuing or allowing us to go out for RFP for services, design services for these projects. These projects are essentially what our work program will be over the next 2 to 3 years for our large culvert replacement projects that we use our special bridge funding to fund them. So I don't know if you want to consider them one by one or do all of them at one time, but that is essentially what they all are, just different projects, but all part of the same work program, and we will complete them as funding becomes available. And if you're interested in the priority, they're not listed in the priority as far as how we see them. I can tell you that right now. The first priority would be item number 7, the one on Button Road. The second priority would be the one, item number 6 on Dundee Road. Our third priority would be item number 5, which is on Bailey Road. Our fourth priority, as of today, things can change over time depending on if we get a major storm and it may cause some damage somewhere else. But our fourth priority item would be item number 1, which is the one on Southeast California, which is 0.2 miles south of 85th. Our fifth priority would be the other one on California, which is item number 2 on the agenda. Our sixth priority would be item number 3 on Southwest 29th, and currently our 7th priority in this list would be item number 4, the one on 109th Street. So, how would you like to proceed?
Okay. Would you like to do them individually, or?
I believe we can have the clerk read them all into the record, and then I've reviewed all the documentation and don't have any additional questions regarding those, if that's okay, Madam Chair.
That would be acceptable.
And essentially what we're wanting to do is we're really wanting to get ahead on the design. So we'll get a lot of these issued or get consultants selected. These are the ones we do outside design and outside construction. We would get them all under as a design so that we have the projects basically ready to go,
right,
so that we can time them bidding wise when funding's available and hit the right time that we feel is the best time to bid. So that's why there's so many at one time, just to kind of set the stage and then proceed from there forward.
Okay. So, Madam Clerk, we hate to have you to read us a book on the first day in 2017, the first meeting, but if you could, please.
Item B2, consider approval of a project budget in the amount of $271,000 and request to solicit an RFP for design and construction for replacement of county culvert on Southeast California Avenue over the unnamed tributary to the Wakarusa, located 0.47 miles north of Southeast 93rd Street, to be paid from the Public Works Special Bridge account. Item B3, consider approval of a project budget in the amount of $265,250 and request to solicit an RFP for design and construction for replacement of county culvert on southwest 29th Street over an unnamed tributary to Mission Creek, located .34 miles east of southwest West Union Road, to be paid from Public Works Special Bridge account. Item B4, consider approval of a project budget in the amount of $237,500 and request to solicit an RFP for design and construction for replacement of a county culvert on southwest 109th Street over an unnamed tributary to the Wakarusa, located .55 miles west of southwest Valencia Road, to be paid from the Public Works Special Bridge account. Item B5, consider approval of a project budget in the amount of $370,000 and request to solicit an RFP for design and construction for replacement of a county culvert on Northwest Bailey Road over Snake Creek, located .15 miles south of Northwest 70th Street, to be paid from the Public Works Special Bridge account. Item B6, consider approval of a project budget in the amount of $294,000 and request to solicit an RFP for design and construction for replacement of a county culvert on Northwest Dundee Road over Breakneck Branch of Half Day Creek, located .4 miles south of Northwest 43rd Street, to be paid from the Public Works Special Bridge account. And item B7, consider approval of a project budget in the amount of $271,500 and request to solicit an RFP for design and construction for replacement of a county culvert on Northwest Button Road over an unnamed tributary to Half Day Creek, located .3 miles north of Northwest 46th Street, to be paid from the Public Works Special Bridge account.
Thank you. Is there a motion on these items?
So moved.
Motion to approve.
Second.
By Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone approve? Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
And just for a little bit of additional information, of course, when we go through the selection process for the design, we will come back to the commission for approval of their contracts, and then when we go out for bid for these projects, they will come back before the commission for approval of construction projects, or construction contracts. And then also, just for your information, we would anticipate our top 2 or possibly our top 3 priorities being done this year, 2017, which again would be item 7 as our number 1 priority, item number 6, and item number 5. So that gives you a little idea of where we're looking at this year. And then going into next year, we should have them all designed, hopefully, and just ready to move forward.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Next item, please.
Item C, corrections. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C2-2017 with Tyler Technologies to provide data for a collective database to be entered into state and national databases, including interface installation and yearly maintenance for 5 years.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. I've laid out a synopsis of this project, and I wanted to add that I've been working on this in coordination with the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office, because they will be the local or the Shawnee County entity that will make most use of this database once it's up and running. So with that, I'll stand for any questions that you may have.
Thanks, Tim. Any questions? This time, Commissioner Archer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Major, just for the public, could you give an overview of what this actually does and what we hope to accomplish?
Yes, sir. This is part of a statewide and then nationwide project to pull data from all of the jails and then put them in a centralized database so that it'll accomplish 3 things. One is that it'll replace an old VINE system, which is a victim notification. So if you're a victim of a crime, you can plug into the system and be notified when the person that victimized you is released from custody. Second, it can be used by, in our state, Department of Labor, or any entity that is paying benefits, and they can cut the benefits off when they're notified that a person's in custody, and then reinstate them when they're released. So we get that benefit from it. And the third is, since it's a broad spectrum database, law enforcement can access it and find out if a person for whom they have a warrant or for whom who they're looking for, they can see if they're in custody anywhere in the state or the nation once it's all fully operational. So it is a very beneficial program, and the funding is being done by grant funds.
Good to know. Thank you.
Further
I'll move to
questions?
approve,
There's a
Madam Chair.
motion by Commissioner Archer
Second.
and second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Item C2, consider approval of a request to reclassify, advertise, and fill a mental health team lead position at a salary including benefits of $75,234.67.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. Earlier last year, late last year, the Board of County Commissioners approved Shawnee County to go out for an RFP for mental health and healthcare services for the Shawnee County Department of Corrections. And in doing that, and in meeting with everyone individually, you commissioners, one of the questions that came up is, what is going to be the plan for 2017 while we're in the middle of researching and getting our RFP together? And one of the things that we need to do is first of all, is to replace David Coleman, who had retired as our mental health team leader. And in doing so, I did some research with Jim, I talked to Betty, I did some research with some other mental health professionals in our community regarding what that position needs to be when it comes to leading and supervising and monitoring and implementing the mental health program. And one of the suggestions that came up through my suggestion to Jim and Betty through after research was to reclassify the position to have a minimum qualification to be a licensed specialist clinical social worker. And what this does is this licensing allows them to provide more services and be able to supervise those with less license and be able to do more when it comes to the supervision and implementation of a mental health program. And so those were one of the things that we thought were valuable that we needed to do in our program. We have the funds available. We did budget for the previous position, and in budgeting for this position, because the previous person who had this was so far out on the scale, in being able to reclassify this and fill this will come at about $9,000 less than what we would have budgeted for the person who is currently in this position. We do believe, in speaking with mental health professionals and looking at the position description, that this would be a tremendous benefit for us to move forward this year in our mental health program, and also that once we're able to establish our mental health program overall, once we get a successful and approved RFP and services, this position would just be absorbed into that contract as well. So there would be no need to budget for this in 2018. This position is in my budget as far as a county position. But this is a very highly clinical level position, and that it really basically, when it came down to it, when we started it, I just never believed that it was the right level. So we have the money available. This doesn't, we're not asking for additional funds. We're not asking for a brand new position, so to speak. So with that, I would stand for any questions.
Thank you, Brian. Any questions at this time? Commissioner Archer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Brian, what happens to the people that are in not only this position but also the position we're going to talk about next?
Yes.
When we go out for an RFP and contract out our health service.
Very good question.
How's this going to impact our health
What
service?
we've done, well, what will happen is that when we put out the RFP, it will be for a staffing analysis and a staffing plan that will replace these. Basically, part of the RFP program and process we're going to do is the positions that are currently filled within Shawnee County, they would be first selected and being able to go into the new company. So those positions would go into the new company, as we've done with our other services, healthcare, or not healthcare, food service that we had at the jail.
But that would actually be a part of
Yes.
the RFP?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any further questions? No? I'll move approval of the request.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Bueller, second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item C3, consider approval of a request to create, advertise, and fill an additional mental health position at a salary including benefits of $51,736.60.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. In addition to looking at our overall staffing plan that we have at the Department of Correction for mental health, we currently have a 4-person team, which is not enough. We are meeting with the inmates each and every day, with now our population exceeding almost 60 inmates that are on close observation. That doesn't count all of those who are seriously and persistently mentally ill. We are seeing our mental health population increased significantly. And one of the things that we wanted to look at was the benefit of having an additional social worker that would be able to come in, that would be able to answer the requests of the inmates, be able to monitor and help with our inmates and our mental health team when it comes to crisis intervention and those types of projects. The additional help will allow our staff to have a better rotation for on-call during emergencies, additional staff, and this position is a new position, but I'm not asking for funds for that. We have the money that was designated to Shawnee County Department of Corrections for mental health services that we've turned back in like we did this year. Or this past year. So this is a position that I'm asking for, a new position, but not additional funds to our budget. I'm not asking for a budget increase. We have the money in our budget to take on a new position and to do this. Again, this is a position, we would have 5 people. That part of the RFP is that our staff would be those who would be chosen as part of going into their the new company's scheme. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Questions? No?
I'll move to approve. I see the county councilor nodding, so I feel good about it.
Yes, and I did speak with Jim and Betty regarding all of these.
I do. I appreciate that, Brian.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's a motion by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Item D, facilities maintenance. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C3-2017 with Dream Team Cleaning, Inc. for custodial services at the Shawnee County Courthouse, North Annex Health Agency, and Elections Office, with costs divided and paid through the operating budgets of facilities, health, and election offices, and contract C4-2017 with the Health Agency Business Associate Agreement for the period of February 6, 2017 through February 5, 2018.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Kroll, Facilities Maintenance Director. This item, we went for RFP last summer to see who might be able to do our custodial services. We didn't get any responses. So the board did instruct me to negotiate with firms. I negotiated with 4 different firms, a lot of going back and forth with them, and I feel Dream Team would give us a good opportunity to make a change, to see if we can improve our services. Yvonne Haas is the principal of Dream Team. She is also a employee of the district court, and I know Chuck Heidovitz is here to mention any concerns that might be in that area. She does have partners in the business, but essentially, I think Dream Team's going to give us a little bit more bang for our buck. Different companies threw different nice things at me, but Dream Team gave us an extra day of cleaning here at the courthouse, which I thought was extremely important, and for less price than we're currently paying. At the other locations, it's pretty much a wash, but this is our primary location, and most of the complaints that I've received on custodial issues come from here. The second contract is primarily the one for the health center, is more for their HIPAA agreement to keep confidentiality. So I'll be happy to answer any questions. I know Chuck's here to answer any questions you might have regarding the principal and Dream Team.
Any questions for Bill at this time?
No.
No? And Chuck, if you could come up, I know you sent this letter to the commissioners, but to enter it into the record.
Good morning, Charles Heidovitz, District Court. On January 3rd, Acting Judge Hendricks and I penned a letter to the commissioners in regards to this particular contract. We were only aware of that when the agenda was sent out. And simply in this letter that we notified you that we have no objection to the contract and to Ms. Haas being the recipient of the contract, but we were just putting the commissioners on notice that she is an employee of the court and that her duties are separate. She is authorized to undergo secondary employment, but the two shall not mix, so she may not engage in any activity related to the contract while she's working for the court. Further, that the court administration or the clerk's office had any involvement in this contract whatsoever. So we're just making the public aware that, you know, just for the appearance of impropriety, we're not involved with this whatsoever. I just wanted to make you aware of that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for
No.
John? No. Anyone wanting to speak on this item? Okay, it's the pleasure of the commission.
Madam Chair, I would move for the approval of the award of the contracts,
So motion by Commissioner Cook.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item E, Counselor, number one, consider authorization and execution of contract C5-2017 with Community Resources Council and the Shawnee County Advocacy Council on Aging to provide administrative services and support for the Aging Council in the amount of $20,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Crowell, County Councilor. This is one of two contracts that are on the agenda regarding the Community Resources Council. This first contract is for $20,000 to provide administrative services and support for the Shawnee County Advocacy Council. This is an annual contract that we enter into. The only change this year is changing the dates and the amounts allocated for this year. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
And Jim, just a follow-up question. These were approved during budget discussions as well?
Yes, they were.
correct?
These
Both
are the
items?
amounts that were approved.
Okay.
Yes.
Any questions on this side?
Move to approve.
It's motion by Commissioner Archer.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Item E2, consider authorization and execution of contract C6-2017 with Community Resources Council to provide social services in the amount of $35,065.
And Commissioners, this is just the second of the two contracts. Same contract as last year, different dates.
Any questions? I'll move approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item F, Sheriff's Office, number one, consider authorization and execution of contract C7-2017 with John Hanson for chaplain services for 2017 in the amount of $500 per month.
Good morning, Commission. Herman Jones, Shawnee County Sheriff there. What you have here is just renewal of our contract that we have for our chaplain services there that he provides for our agency as well as for the community. So, any questions on that?
Thank you, Sheriff. And Jim, I'm going to ask you. I know we have this lingering discussion and question about our process here.
This is an acknowledged receipt contract. It is a contract purely between the sheriff and this individual to provide those services. It does not involve county property or anything of that sort. So it does not need a signature by the board.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I would move
Yes.
to acknowledge receipt of the notice from the sheriff regarding the chaplain.
Okay, there's a motion by Commissioner Cook.
I'll second, and perhaps on a going forward basis, we could, have documentation in the agenda to say this is acknowledged receipt or this is actual approval of the contract, Madam Chair. So I think that would be helpful.
I will get that together.
Okay, thank you.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. And also, we have had conversations and discussions with the county councilor on that and how we can work through that. So
Okay.
we're working on that.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
It's just when we're putting together the agenda,
Sure.
you realize our office and then the chair
Right.
reviews, and so if there's something attached to it, then it's helpful.
Okay,
So,
very good.
Item F2, consider approval of a request to create a training manager position for the Emergency Communications Center at a salary of $21.64 to $34.58 per hour plus benefits.
Commission, this is what we're trying to do is with the position is it comes from some of the developments and renewals and revamping of our communication unit right there. What we find is there's a greater need for our training, so we're trying to consolidate that and put it into where it's regimented, have protocols for those type of things right there. One is of attracting individuals, getting them trained, but also it works for retention of our employees there. So that's what this individual will do, and it will be dedicated to training. Not to say that this individual could not be a dispatch and come into those things, but their sole purpose is for the training of new employees and also augmenting the training of our staff that's already there. So that's what we're looking for.
Okay. Thank you, Sharon. Any questions on this item? And it does need commission approval because it's a creation of
Jim Crowell, County Councilor. Yes, I guess HR Director for this item. Yes, this does require commission approval. It is the creation of a new position within the county.
All right, thank you.
And we have met and conferred with the CWA about this position, and they had no objections.
Very good. Thank you.
Move to approve.
So motion by Commissioner Cook,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Item F3, consider approval of request to reclassify a recently vacated accountant 1 position to an account manager position at a salary of $55,910 to $89,377 plus benefits.
Commissioner, what you have here is just a reclassification of a position that we have, and basically what we're trying to do is augment our services that we provide for our county. One is, over the years, what we've come to find out is that we need to make sure we strengthen up that unit right there, and we feel that this is a greater need. And at the same time, since we've gone to a new accounting system for the county, it's only appropriate that we look at making this change at this particular time. So it will, one, I think it brings on greater accountability for our agency as well as for the county when we're talking about our position for being fiscally responsible. And as well, we've worked with Human Resource Director on this and worked through the process on that.
Good. Thank you.
Jim Crowell, Human Resources Director. I just want to clarify for the record, it isn't just a reclassification, but it is a reclassification to an unclassified position, from classified to unclassified. So that means the position would serve at the pleasure of the appointing authority, and that's one reason for the increase, to remove the protections of a classified employee.
Jim, Madam Chair,
Yeah.
you might be able to answer the sheriff why we're taking this from a classified to an unclassified position at this point.
I'm going to defer that to Sheriff Jones. He's the one who requested that.
Sure, and what I'm looking at, I'm bringing this individual, this position, into the senior staff, whereas we have more accountability with that, more control of how we do those type of things right there. It does allow that flexibility like I have with my general counsel, which is unclassified, and it just brings that person as a senior staff member versus a classified position or so. So we can really work and augment with those type of things right there.
Any further questions? Look puzzled.
Yeah, I'm just processing it all.
Okay.
Well, in the meantime, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
It's a motion by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye.
Okay.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries
Thank you.
3-0.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Item 5, administrative communications.
Good morning, Commissioners. I wanted to invite you to our next workshop, which is From Llamas to Lodging, Explore the Limitless Possibilities of an Agriculture-Based Business. You might recall a couple years ago that we hosted several community forums, and one of the things the public wanted us to do was to express our expertise and try to get more education around entrepreneurship in these ag-based businesses. And so that's what I think we are really trying to hone in on this time. We had one in the summer that was starting a small food business. This one, you see them everywhere, pumpkin patches, you-pick berry farms, llamas, barns that are for stall rental, and barns that are wedding venues. We think there are a lot of ideas that could be tapped by Shawnee County residents, and we believe that our expertise in agriculture and the research base of K-State Research and Extension will help us to make the public aware of how they can come to us for additional, resources even after this workshop. In Kansas City, they have a strong network of growing growers. So when I think about people who might be growing flowers, they might be growing vegetables, but there's just a lot of possibilities. So our day is starting with Sue Stringer, who is well-known in the agritourism industry. She's with the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism. She's going to talk about the kind of cottage industries that they see across Kansas right now. And I realize a lot of people aren't familiar with a cottage industry as being something that's home-based. So that's what we're talking about. But then there are issues that come up related to zoning guidelines that people probably wish they knew sooner than later. There's also environmental concerns. Maybe you want to have a herd of something, meat goats or whatever, and if it's running up next to a tributary of water, there is a runoff issue that needs to be addressed, environmentally. And these are things that people who have not grown up in the industry may not be aware of as they think they're going to bite off a new job venue. We will have business features throughout the day. Tim Gerhardt is with Calcan Industries. It's a hydroponic farm out around the Washburn Rural High School area, which is fairly new in this area and is expanding. We'll also have speakers of Kim Corbett, who owns Ravenwood Lodge, where we will be, which is an example of a hunting lodge, but a venue used in many fashions. Nicole Lohr is owner of the Harveyville Project, and Gary Starr with Gary's Berries. But we'll also feature the services from Kansas Department of Agriculture, because they've got marketing services and the registration trademark program from the land of Kansas, which is free for many of the vendors. There's a higher level that people can subscribe to as well, but great marketing there. Carl Klein will be back. He assisted us this summer, but he's willing to help people put together a marketing plan, a business plan for free. And then our new Shawnee County e-community will have its loan fund ready to go. So we're going to try to educate people about that funding opportunity as well. So we invite you to come and be a part of the day if you would like.
Okay,
Thank you.
very good. Good information. Thank you.
Cindy?
Yes.
What kind of attendance do you anticipate, and how are you going to market this? I think this is a great idea.
Thank you. I just taped a feature on WIBW this morning. It'll be going out in news releases to all of the agriculture-based industries and, of course, all of Extension. I will try to hit every venue I can think of, but anybody that wishes to pass the word, if you've got an idea of someplace that you especially want me to market it, please let me know. We hope for an attendance of 60 to 70. I don't know if that will happen or not. People tell me that for agriculture programs it can be 100, but I'm just going to hope for 60 to 70, and if we have a bigger crowd than that, I'll be happy to deal with that problem.
Madam Chair?
Yes,
I know there's a
Commissioner
lot of interest in agribusiness. Really, I think this is very timely. This is a good time to get started, and so people get their businesses started. And no, John Knight, we're not ready for goats to maintain our parks yet.
We've researched it.
Well, for future classes, you may want to think about pet pigs. I understand that's a growing market.
Now, agri-based, are we going to eat those pet pigs? Or are we just going to let them run around? Thank you.
And again, that's coming up Tuesday. We've got a little bit of time. Tuesday, February 28th.
Yes,
And do they have to RSVP? Yes?
If you would let me know if you are coming, I'll make sure I have lunch for you.
Okay.
So people who are registering, it's $25.
Actually, come back over.
Sorry. I'm
Sorry.
loud, then they'll just pick it up. Thank you for asking. Early registration by February 10th is just $25.
Okay.
After that, it'll be up to $40. For you three, of course, we just would love you to come. You don't need to register except to let me know to make sure I have lunch if you decide to attend. But for everybody else, we would like them to register as early as possible so that we can be prepared.
Okay.
What other thought? You may want to contact Ralph Hipp. I know Commissioner Cook and I were on his program the other day, and I think that's a good advertising venue.
Very
and
good.
it's cheap. So.
Very good.
The big red couch.
The big red couch.
Well, yeah, I was on the big red couch this morning, so that was their tape in advance.
Oh,
So
okay.
we've got that covered.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else for administrative communications?
Commissioners, Tom Block, Public Works and Solid Waste. Just want to let everybody know that being the first Saturday of January, we will not have a household hazardous waste collection on Saturday. We don't have them on the first Saturdays of January and July, mainly because of the holiday season. But on a different note, I do want to report that for the calendar year of 2016, we eclipsed 6,000 participants at the HHW for the first time. So it's Eddie Spencer and his crew up there are doing a wonderful job. I think we had 6,036. So it's the first time we've eclipsed 6,000. So that's, people are really starting to use it, and it's a really good thing. So
Good.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Justin Gregory, Kansas Expo Center. We'd like to provide a quick recap of what we have going on in the Expo Center coming up. Friday, Saturday, we welcome the Roadrunners back again. 7:05, the puck drops on both evenings. Then followed up with multiple public skates throughout the weekend. Those times are on our website. Maybe move everything out, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we welcome the Farm Show back in town. So if you see a large collection of vehicles at the Kansas Expo Center Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it is the annual Farm Show. I do believe this is the 26th annual Farm Show to be held at the Expo Center, so it is one of our founding events. Looking forward to that. Then followed after the Farm Show, we moved that out and set up the WWE Live Wrestling Ring for a Friday night wrestling event. So if you guys would like to attend, let us know, and we will get you behind-the-scenes looks. Can't get you in the ring, but we can get you behind the scenes. And then on that note, would like to make the first announcement that we have officially contracted the Professional Armed Forces Rodeo World Finals to be held in Doma Arena, October 26th through 28th of 2017. Been working on this one for about 4 years, so this is a good day. We'll feature over 200 contestants from Florida to Alaska, from Spain and Germany. We'll take about 400 hotel nights throughout the weekend, and as far as I know, this is our first global equine event to be held in Topeka, Kansas.
Nice.
So we'd like to be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Good news. Thank you.
Right.
Anyone else for administrative communications? Commissioners? Commissioner Archer?
Not this morning, thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Craig?
Thank you.
One item that I'd like to bring to everyone's attention, a couple weeks ago, we put out a call for those interested in the Topeka Township, Silver Lake Township, and Auburn Township. The deadline is today at 5 o'clock to the Commission office, but so far we've only received two officially into the Commission office, two inquiries. One into the Topeka Township Board by John Failer, and one for Silver Lake Township by Gregory Abbott. So I just wanted to check in with the Commission to see if we want to extend that time, just and discussion. I didn't put it on for an agenda item just because it's not till the end of the day, but we can put it on for an agenda item for Monday and then extend it if we want to at that time.
But I would say let's wait till
Okay.
Monday, see at the end of the day, see who, and then have it as an agenda item for Monday.
Okay.
That would be my preference.
Okay. But just to let the public know that we're still accepting those nominations, I guess, basically, because then the commission does have to approve those positions, but once that's finished, township business is essentially township business. The county commission doesn't have any oversight over township. I've had several questions about the responsibilities of the township boards, but have to make sure it's kind of confusing to people that we appoint in these circumstances. But past that, we do not have any jurisdiction. So, okay, I will do that. Anything else then? Next item, please.
Item 6, executive session.
And there is a need, and actually I'm going to stop real quick before we go into executive session. On Monday, we will have the swearing-in ceremony of two commissioners and everyone else who won election in November. That will happen here at the courthouse, but we will start the meeting at 10 o'clock. So just to let everyone know. And for let me see here, for executive session for personnel of matters of non-elected personnel and consultation with an attorney, 15 minutes, not to exceed 15 minutes.
I'll second that.
There's a motion by Commissioner Bueller, second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 3-0, 15 minutes for executive session.
Oh, see, it's the new year.
I know.
Well, this is just some guys.
All right. We are back in session, no action to be taken, and we are adjourned.